All right, cool. So, I know you guys, some of you guys might look at me and start to feel bad for me, but I don't want you to. Mainly for this one reason. I get to get a Happy Meal whenever I want and not get strange looks. People just think I'm a little retarded. I got a prize at the end of my meal. I think I'm the winner. But being in a wheelchair does elicit very, very strange comments. So I was sitting in the mall one day, and this guy comes up to me and says, verbatim, "I know your life is awful now, but don't worry, soon you'll be dead." And then you'll be sitting at the right hand of God. Okay, few things wrong with that statement. Main thing, I don't know what you heard, sir, but I'm a terrible person. So if I'm going to be sitting at the right hand of God for eating Cheetos all day, running past homeless people as fast as humanly possible to avoid giving them money, and literally sitting on my ass all day, I'm pretty sure that Mother Teresa is going to be pretty pissed off that I took her seat. I was trying to kind of compare that Mother Teresa situation with a friend of mine, and the only thing I could really come up with was, it would be like if you were at work and you were trying to get a promotion. You worked really, really hard, you stayed late, and you went above and beyond anything anyone could ever ask you. And then the CEO's daughter, who's blowing bubbles in the corner, gets the job just for successfully emerging out of a well-chosen vagina. Anyway, so being in wheelchair also gets me into very, very bizarre situations. And the perfect example is when I graduated college, I knew I wanted to be an entertainer because apparently I don't like to eat regularly. But I didn't really know where to look for jobs. So I went to the most logical place I could think of, the newspaper. Because I thought I would find an ad that said, "Steven Spielberg looks for new leading lady, preferably small blonde girl in wheelchair." It wasn't in there. I was shocked too. But I did find an ad to be a singer for the U.S. Navy. And I was like, yup, I'm doing that. So I called him up and I was like, "Hey, how's it going? I'd like to be in the Navy." And the lady on the other end, she was like, asked me a few preliminary questions. And then she said, "Do you take any medications?" And I was like, "Yeah, I take Nexium. Thanks, acid reflux." And she was like, "Oh, well that should be okay." And I'm thinking, if that's not okay, awkward. And then she said, "Do you have any physical restrictions?" Now, in my defense, before I could say anything, she starts into a list. She goes, "Are you hard of seeing? Are you hard of hearing? Are you missing any limbs? Do you have leprosy?" But she doesn't say, "Are you in a wheelchair?" So I was like, "Nope." It wasn't on the list. Whatever, don't judge me. So anyway, so she's like, "Great, come on down, you can be in the Navy." So I'm very, very excited. I am driving around my house, thinking about how all the Navy people and I are going to stand around in a huddle, and someone's going to come up to me and say something like, "Hey, did you get your sea wheels yet?" And then I'm going to run them over because it wasn't funny the first 1,000 times. And then I thought about how adorable I'm going to look in that little Navy uniform. Kind of like an American Girl doll. Only, after the war. So apparently, I have a So I was like, yeah, whatever. So I called her back and I was like, hey, how's it going? I may have a physical restriction. She was like, okay, well, what is it? I was like, well, I'm in a wheelchair. She was like, for how long? And I was like, well, I'm not a doctor or Jesus. So it could go away tomorrow. I don't know. But I'm thinking forever. And she was like, well, then you can't be in the Navy. How do you expect to get on a submarine? And I was like, ho, 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 hold on. You're telling me all those really hot Navy guys just standing around can't just carry me onto the ship? I'll take one for the team. You do what you gotta do, right? Right? Am I right? I was not right. So I didn't get to be in the Navy. But I did find out later that you have to go to boot camp in order to be in the Navy band, which I thought was very strange. I can't really imagine a scenario in which someone would be like, oh, we're dying on the front lines, give me the Navy band. I have to sing some Justin Bieber songs and kill the other troops. I started thinking about me going to boot camp and how awesome it would be. I would show up with my Diet Pepsi and funny t-shirt and my doctor's note that said, please excuse Shannon for talking. We go on our really long runs and everyone would be really tired and I'd be running beside them going, why are you guys all so tired? And I played Bejeweled on my phone. I got